Hi, welcome. I'm Jonathan Larson.
When Tick, Tick, Boom begins, Jonathan Larson, the real-life creator of the show of the same name and of the 1996 Broadway smash Rent, is about a week from turning 30 and has yet to create any works of note. The film that follows ends up being about a great many things, and despite its enormous scope, the aspect which shines the brightest is Larson's fears of failure during this week-long window, an intimate exploration ode to Andrew Garfield's stellar performance. However, while the rest of Tick, Tick, Boom remains watchable and engaging, it ends up trapped in an uncanny adaptational limbo thanks to a narrative structure that undercuts its most impactful moments.
Lately I've been hearing this sound. Like a tick, tick, tick.
Directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda and written by Stephen Levinson, the film is an homage to Broadway and to Larson, who died a few weeks before turning 36, but it's almost too beholden to his work. Its structure is two-pronged. On one hand, it features a mostly straightforward musical narrative unfolding in New York City. On the other, it features a frequently interspersed framing device in which Larson narrates the story's events. The latter is a close approximation of the original one-man show. Essentially, Miranda and Levinson attempt to craft a transformative adaptation that visualizes Larson's narrations in the form of a traditional movie musical. But they also attempt to film it in its original form, using this stage performance to more closely examine the events that led up to it. It's a bright spark that works on paper, but in execution, it ends up sucking some of the tension from Larson's story and some of the magic from the film's own big ideas. The central problem with this approach lies in the fact that the narrative of the original Tick, Tick, Boom exists largely in the imagination. The story was told almost entirely through Larson's descriptive lyrics, which create a soulful overlap between literal events as they unfolded and Larson's subjective conception of them. He created tension with painted musical pictures that explore the dynamic between reality and the world in his head. In the movie version, that tension is bogged down by an unyielding literalism. Almost every lyric is accompanied by an image that portrays exactly what the words have already described. It can't help but feel like a waste of visual and thematic real estate. While the film's frantic narrative ends up working against it, its frantic central performance is its strongest suit. Andrew Garfield usually reads young on screen, but in Tick, Tick, Boom, he plays Larson with the exhaustion of someone who's lived 1,000 lifetimes worth of rejection.
Did you crack it yet?
Oh, I'm getting so close. I'm rewriting.
Can I hear it?
Any day now.
His tug-of-war between burnout and restlessness makes him seem like he's charging towards some inevitable explosion in the form of either enormous success or a complete and utter breakdown. Just by watching his weary body language, you begin to fear and anticipate the inevitable boom once the clock ticks down. Despite the film's other failings, this aspect of Larson's story is its most powerful through-line. The way it captures Garfield's frazzled internal terror feels particularly precise. The story often zips between ideas, rarely stopping to consider emotional beats or visual tableaus. However, when a given scene is about the central theme of 29 going on oblivion, the focus remains on Larson and Larson alone. 2.5 decades after Larson's death, the story can't help but take on a fatalistic tone, as if Larson is singing not only about his life, but his impending demise. The perspective Miranda brings to the film's straightforward scenes is one of admiration, rather than the original's more critical eye towards single-minded artistic pursuits that push people away. This approach in Tick, Tick, Boom inadvertently uncomplicates Larson in the process of memorializing him. While a more sentimental approach, it is perhaps a less honest one than Larson intended, despite the truth that Garfield finds in his performance.
You need to ask, are you letting yourself be led by fear or by love?
Fear! 100% fear!
Lin-Manuel Miranda tries to turn Jonathan Larson's one-man show into a traditional musical, but ends up getting stuck halfway in between. However, Andrew Garfield delivers a tremendous running-on-fumes performance as the real-life Broadway mainstay, whose impending 30th birthday pushes him to his creative and emotional brink. For more Lin-Manuel Miranda musicals, check out what we thought of Encanto, and for everything else, stick with IGN.
This is the life of Bo 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 Bo. This is the life of Bo 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 Bo. Yes! This is the life of Bo 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 Bo. Bohemia. Bohemia. Bo 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 Bo.